Hello, Cancer. Here is your reading for the next 3 months, about-ish. These are general. Take what works, and what doesn't work just doesn't work. But let's see what the cards have to say. First up, you have the Four of Pentacles, then you have the Tower, and then you have the Five of Cups. Your challenge for the few months is the Ace of Cups reversed. And what is recommended for you is the King of Cups. So, you guys are kind of going through it right now, or you will be having a little bit, I don't want to say there's going to be a little bit of drama, you know, some kind of bumps in the road. But unfortunately, sometimes in life, you know, these things do happen. But you're going to be entering the few months with this energy of kind of having to hold on to something. Like the Four of Pentacles represents feeling like you're scared that you might lose what you have. There might be something going on where you're a little bit uncertain about the future or what's going to happen. So you're kind of holding on to what you have, whatever this could be. This could be financially. Could be like people. This could be anything. You're scared to make a move. This energy is a little bit stuck. Sometimes this energy could represent really taking care of your finances diligently. But with this reading, because it's a little bit heavy, I think you're maybe fearful or concerned about something going on in the future, which would be the Tower. And I think you see this Tower moment coming. And I think that's what's causing you to start with this energy of like holding on to what you have, not really moving forward, just kind of staying stuck and just kind of just hanging on. Because during the few months, you're going to be experiencing this Tower moment. Now, I think you saw this coming though, because I really feel like with this card, you kind of saw it coming. So I think that's good that you see this coming, because then it helps you prepare a little bit or gives you time to kind of navigate forward a smidge better. But this Tower moment, I feel this might be something a little bit external to you, because with this whole reading, I feel that it's just, it's something a little bit out of your control. This could have been something that has been going on for a long time, and now it's gotten to a point where it's, I don't want to say it's a mess, it's a disaster, but it's just, there's no fixing it anymore, and it's coming down. Like it's coming crumbling down. You're going to have to start fresh from it after that. This could be some kind of news or situation happening, but for some, I don't want to say maybe you might be kind of getting laid off or whatever, but I kind of get this feeling. This is very, very heavy here. So it's just, I feel like it's something that you may be seeing coming, but it's very disruptive. So I think that's why you're holding on to what you have, or you're trying to take stock in your assets or whatever currently, because I think you know that this is coming down the line. So I don't think this is a very big surprise. I think you might be hoping that it's not coming, that it's not going to happen. But oftentimes, these Tower moments, sometimes this could represent like a really major thing. Like let's say if you lose a job or something, or it could just represent something more minor, but it's like a shaking of the beliefs, or it changes you in some aspects. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like a huge thing, but it's big enough for you that it actually causes you to kind of change a little bit. So take that how that works, because sometimes I get this and things are happening and it's not, or it could be even things happening around you, because I was getting this card and it turns out it was things happening around me to actually people, you know, coworkers, friends or whatever. But because I'm friends with them, in a sense, I go through their pain with them because I work with them or I'm around them. So, you know, if somebody has a problem that you're close to, then, you know, it doesn't, I'm not saying it becomes your problem, but you're helping them, or it's a moment for you. So this could be even something that somebody else around you that you're close to, or a coworker or something, is experiencing something, and it's affecting you in a way as well. So take that how that works. But something's going on. But the Tower always indicates that after this happens, you're going to have to rebuild, but you're going to wind up rebuilding stronger. And sometimes this is almost like a release of of BS as well. Sometimes there's things going on and you're kind of holding on and you know it's a mess, you know it's a disaster. You're like, this really is not good for me, but I'm still holding on to it because it's comfort. It's what I know and I don't know how to fix it. And then when it kind of comes crumbling down, you're left now forced to actually go in a different direction, or you're forced to now fix it or face the problem head on. So for some of you, it could be something like that. It could be something that you know, because I really feel like you know this is coming. I feel like you will know what this is. I feel like you already know what this would represent, but you're going to be wind up going forward. You're going to wind up licking your wounds and going forward, because by the end of the few months, you have the Five of Cups. Now, this is a card about not seeing the good stuff in your life. It's about focusing on everything that went bad. Now, between this energy, this is all extremely heavy here. So I'm not blaming you for focusing on the stuff that went wrong, because I would be focusing on the stuff that went wrong myself. But this card is always here to remind you that although everything looks dim, it looks bleak, there was a bunch of BS that happened, there is good stuff in your life. And to me, this is saying that, like, also there's spirit or people helping you. There's things in your corner that are helping you forward. You just have to kind of, even sometimes I feel like you have to take this moment of, I don't want to say pity party, because that's like super, like, that's like super surface and it kind of sounds super mean, you know, considering like this could be extremely major to you, and it probably is extremely major to you. But sometimes you have to have a little pity party for yourself before you can actually kind of be like, okay, now it's time for me to start figuring out the next steps. So I think that if you need to take a moment and be like, oh my God, what the hell? Take that moment, but don't just dwell on it forever. Like, you need to start figuring out, well, okay, this has all gone on. How am I going to fix this? What is the next step forward? Like, how am I going to kind of move on from this? So, and your challenge for the few months is the Ace of Cups in reverse. Now, this is saying don't close off your heart, because the Ace of Cups in reverse is all about kind of not having that kind of emotional connection with others. It could be that you feel very closed off. You're not really being open to other people. So I think, especially with this stuff going on, I think that you most definitely have to watch that. You have to kind of be aware of it, at least. Sometimes these challenges, you know, it's not saying that you have to just overcome it head on. It's just saying, okay, be aware of it, because this may be something that you might be facing or dealing with. So, and especially because this is extremely heavy, I'm not surprised you're probably feeling closed off, you know? So, but this, I think, is saying that even though you are probably feeling kind of closed off or not connected or not really wanting to confide in other people or not really wanting even to acknowledge good stuff that is happening, because I kind of get that from this, especially with the Five of Cups here. It's like he's focusing on his spilt cups, but he has two cups behind him. So he's not focusing on the things he still has, the things that are still standing, the things that are his, you know, that are working well. So I think that's something that you're just going to have to be aware of. But what's recommended for you is the King of Cups. Now, this guy is very emotionally sound. So I think this is saying that although things are a disaster, let's call it for what it is. Things are a disaster. It's a shit show, Cancers. It's definitely a shit show. Although this is all going on, I think this is trying to remind you that you have the ability to try to, I don't want to say face it calmly, but this guy, he doesn't get shaken. You know, he takes his problems, he faces them head on, you know, and he's very deep. He feels emotions extremely deeply, but he's so good at almost like managing his emotions or even understanding himself. Like, of all the kings, this guy like really is in tune with himself, you know? And I think this could even be saying that during this time, you might need to just not be so much on autopilot, because I feel like with the Ace of Cups here in reverse, to me, this is almost like you're not in touch with your emotions. You're not being in tune with yourself. You're almost on autopilot. Like, you're experiencing all this BS, but you're not really tapping into kind of maybe certain creative things to help you maybe make this BS a little bit less of the BS. But this guy's here saying that I think you need to still stay present, and you need to stay aware of how this is making you feel, why you're feeling like this, and is there a way that you can kind of do something to kind of help minimize this situation or minimize the mess. because he is very much in control. And I think it's saying, like, even when you're going through this, even though you might feel things are out of control or just kind of just like, I think this is saying that you probably have some aspects where you can control, even if it's just your reactions to things, even if it's just the way you perceive things. There's something here that you can actually maybe control on your end with yourself to help, I don't want to say neutralize some of this, but try to, like, for instance, let's say for some of you, this tower moment represents there might be a major drama with a family member or friend or coworker or something in your life. Maybe there's some shady, funny business going on with these people or this person, and there might be some kind of big revelation or big moment where you find a lot of things out. You find somebody was lying to you. Maybe they were cheating on you. Maybe some funny business was going on. And it leaves you feeling all certain kind of ways. Well, he's here saying that, you can feel those certain kind of ways, but you need to kind of maybe not react so like knee-jerk reaction. Maybe kind of take a second before you react. So it's maybe like instead of kind of flying off the handle and maybe making the situation worse in a certain kind of way, maybe take a second, think about it, and try to kind of go about it a little bit more strategic or smarter, or just be aware of how you feel or what's going on. So I kind of get a feeling with that guy. I feel like also he's saying that maybe within this, take some time to do something that is calming to you. And I know that's easier said than done, especially if you're going through this mess, you're in the middle of the mess, but maybe there's something that you need to take even 15 minutes a day and just have it where you're trying to clear your mind and you're trying to just connect with yourself or connect with nature or connect with something that makes you feel a little bit more spiritually sound. Even if that's your religious practices or whatever, do something, even if it's just 15 minutes while this mess is going on, that helps you feel connected to other people, connected to your spirit guides or your angels or whatever you believe in, but just that you're being supported. Because I feel like the worst thing you could do with something like this is to feel that you're alone, you're going through it alone, and nobody's in your corner. I think when we have these experiences, I think I don't want to say they're easier to go through when you have people that genuinely are in your corner, genuinely love you, genuinely want the best for you, and are there. Even if they're just, they're just physically there or whatever, but if you feel like they're there, I think it helps with some of this. It helps you feel like you're not doing this alone, So that's what I'm getting with that. But let's see what else the cards have to say. Okay, so first up, you have Wolf Spirit, turn knowledge into wisdom. And I think this is saying that the lessons that you'll be learning with this tower moment, it's going to actually give you some wisdom. So unfortunately, when we go through any kind of bad situation, there is always some lesson that we can take from it. And maybe this situation is going to help you realize what you need to avoid next time. It's going to help you actually be better. If this does happen again, you're going to know how to navigate it a little bit better. So I think this is saying that although this might feel messy, this might feel really just unpleasant, there is something here that you're going to be able, there's a valuable lesson. Let's put it that way. There's a valuable lesson here that's going to help you in the future, because the tower, it's all about things that were not really built properly. They're coming down. But after, you're going to be able to kind of rebuild. You're going to rebuild stronger. So I think there's something here that's going on that you're going to actually be able to kind of turn this experience. You're going to grow from it. You're going to gain something from it. And you're going to kind of have a better understanding of even the process. This could even represent for some of you like a hobby or like a job or something, or a side hustle or some kind of, if you have your own business, it could be something that I really feel like you see this coming, like you see it creeping towards you, but you're like, no. it won't happen, but I feel like you kind of know because this energy here going into this, I feel like this is like, yeah, I kind of see it there. We're going to take a pause. We're going to hold on. We're going to just wait. Maybe it'll pass. Maybe it won't come this way. But I think that, you see it. You see it. You know what? It kind of gets me thinking, seeing those videos of those tornadoes, and these people are videotaping the tornadoes. Like you have these the storm chasers, storm whatever, going out, and some of these people are sitting there and they see this tornado coming towards them, but they want to get the footage so they don't move. They're in their cars or whatever, or wherever they are, but they're not moving because they're trying to get this footage. So to me, it's kind of like that energy. It's coming towards you. You see it. There's a moment you're like, maybe I should move, but you're like, no. I don't want to say it's a denial of it actually happening, but then they're always surprised that the tornado is over them, and then they're freaking out. And then, it's a lot of times like, the ones I've seen, like luckily some of them survived, but they're always like shocked that it's upon them. But it's like, you saw this thing coming it was coming for the last 20 minutes. You saw it. It's coming directly to you. It's big. And you didn't think you should maybe go somewhere else. So I feel like you see whatever this is, I feel like you kind of see it creeping up on you, but you might be just like, maybe it won't be so bad. Maybe it'll just take a detour. But I think this is something that you will be gaining some valuable piece of information from. And unfortunately, sometimes when we do go through these things, it's a life lesson. It's a hard life lesson, but it's one of these lessons for us. And then hematite, ground yourself. And I think this is extremely important. I think this is extremely important to stay connected, to stay grounded, to do things during this process that are helping you kind of get through it a little bit better, to protect your energy in a sense, because it's emotional. I feel like this may be emotional. It may be energetically draining to you. It just might be a lot of curveballs coming from all different kind of angles or whatever. So I think this is really important, saying just, you got to ground yourself. And the King of Cups, he's very grounded. Like this guy, I don't want to say nothing surprises him, but I just feel like he's so good at controlling himself and the way he reacts to things, that he's just very grounded. He's very, very solid when it comes to this emotional aspects of things. And then you have Cashapp, outdated thinking, conditioning, replaying events over in your head. And I feel like this replaying events might be coming with this 5 of Cups, because that's what this guy's doing. He's not really thinking about the new stuff. He's not really thinking about the other stuff that's going right. He's only thinking about the things that didn't go right, the things that went wrong. So I think some of you might be feeling that you're replaying, oh, why did this happen? I should have done this or whatever. But I think this is saying that, I don't want, when I say that, take the time for the pity party, but I know that's like kind of really kind of surface, kind of mean to say, but take the time, but don't forget to now get back in the game. Sometimes you have to kind of reshuffle. And some of this could also be certain aspects or ways of thinking that now are outdated, and this tower is representing for some of you that you're changing your thought processes totally. So this could have been something that you're changing even mentally. You've decided you were doing something a certain kind of way. Now you're like, you know what, the hell with that. I'm doing it this kind of way from now on. So it could be some type of thing where you're shifting out of this outdated thinking, or some type of, you're going in a different direction, and some of you might be feeling like, oh, you should have really went in the direction sooner. Why did you wait so long? But I think this is saying that you just need to also stay present in a sense. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. And I feel like this is really going with this Ace of Cups in reverse, and even the 5 of Cups, because even the 4 of Pentacles is stuck energy. The Tower is just coming down. It's a little bit chaotic. But then the 5 of Cups is stuck energy as well, because he's only focused on the things that in the past did not work right, or even in the recent past, but the things that weren't working right. So that's stuck. Then the Ace of Cups, it's kind of that like blocked, that stuck energy as well, not really being open to new things. So all these ones here are stuck. So I think this is saying, although you might be feeling a certain kind of way, you need to kind of somewhat pick up the pieces, or being open to kind of taking the steps forward, because that's what you have to do. After the Tower comes down, you have to walk away from it, or you have to start figuring out how to rebuild. But to do that, you have to start taking those steps. Okay, now you have Failure is the condiment that gives success its flavor, and you are confined only by the walls you built yourself. And I feel like for some of you, this tower was something that you either kind of built yourself, it was some type of structure within your life, or friendships that it wasn't great to begin with, but it somehow was built on something, and it's just not working out anymore. And honestly, I think some of you are going to take this as a failure, but I think by taking that experience and turning that into knowledge, it's going to be, or turning the knowledge into wisdom, because you're going to gain knowledge from this. And now you have to turn that into like wisdom. So I think it's going to actually help you in the future. And for some of you, this could be a business failure, something that you might have tried something and you realize that you hated it. And then that's like a tower moment for you, because you thought maybe you were going to take your life in a certain direction. And now you're like, no, I hate doing that. I don't want to do this. But I spent all this time, I spent all this money on this degree or whatever to try to get to this point, and this is just not making me happy. So that could be seen as like a failure as well. But now you know, at least you know, so it could be something like that. And life, it's like, it's a series of steps. Like, we build one step, we see how that is, then we build the next step, and then it's just kind of like that. It's like, and sometimes when you fail, nobody who's ever been successful succeeded 100% of the times. Most of those people failed more times than they were successful. They just kept at it. They didn't stop. They were persistent. And for your little affirmation you have, today I am excited. Today is going to be the best day ever. And I think that is extremely important, especially with this energy. This is very heavy. It's very depressing. It's very sad. I think you just need to kind of remind yourself that you're going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Something good is going to happen today. And now for your little Bob Ross quote, you have, however you think it should be, that's exactly how it should be. So going with the Five of Cups here, this guy is focused on the bad stuff. So now if you're only focused on the bad stuff, it's going to all be bad. But if you start focusing on some of the positives, then you're going to attract more positives to you, or you'll see more positives because now you're focusing on that. So definitely put your perspective, even during the mess. I know it's hard, but sometimes sometimes during the mess is exactly when you need to start with the positivity mindset, to help you get through this. So let's see what spirit of the dish will be with you these few months. You have the spirit of the split, which is the spirit of the banana split. And for your dinner in the movie, you have Chinese food and horror films. And for the energies that you need to be aware of or tap into, you have Scorpio. And this is about transformation and major changes. And I think you're going to be going through some transformation and major changes. And then you have Capricorn, which is about restrictions, responsibilities, and life lessons. So there's definitely some kind of those life lessons going on, and maybe some restrictions or responsibilities, and here we have Pluto, and this is also about transformation and major changes. And then you have Uranus here, which is about independence and eccentricity. You have the first house, which represents appearance, ego, interests, and the self. And you also have the 10th house, which is about social status, career, and aspirations. And you have the number 1 here, which is an odd number, sorry. I had to think a second. You have number 1. This is an odd number. That means that the Magic 8 Ball will be the special guest answering your questions. So think of those questions, and he'll be out here shortly. You have F, Q, T, L, F, I, B, 636. And you have Desire. Let's see what little charmy we get for you. Okay, so you have the fish. Okay, so this guy, you have Nemo here. He's had a rough day. The buzzards came and they picked all the flesh off his body. They left him bare. But this is saying that although he's been, picked clean, he has no more flesh. He's just really upset that he feels like he has nothing left. He's going to resurrect himself. And he's going to grow his skin thicker and kind of more buzzard proof. in a sense, or seagull proof, or whatever bird did this to him. He's going to be ready for them next time. He's going to grow back. He's going to grow back much stronger, much better, and he's going to have like he's going to be ready for them. He's going to have his whole little arsenal, and he's going to have like a fort and everything. So he might even get some armor. So this is saying that, sometimes when you've been stripped clean, you've been just stripped to the bone, the only way is up. The only way is to try to rebuild, and to rebuild using the wisdom of the knowledge of the mess, and just try to be wiser about it next time, and just try to kind of be stronger about it, be more prepared next time. Okay, so now it is time. Here he is. Think of those questions, Cancer, and we shall ask. Oh, mystical, magical 8-ball, the mightiest ball of all the balls in the world, what is the answer to Cancer's question? It says, reply hazy, try again. Okay, Cancers. Really think very strongly. Here we go. Oh, mystical, magical 8-ball, the mightiest ball of all the balls in the universe, what is the answer to Cancer's question? It says, it is decidedly so. The 8-ball has spoken. I hope you all have a wonderful few months, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.